Hi guys, welcome to the Pur'N'Kleen podcast, episode number 33. My name is Rommel and I'm here with Lisa, and today we're going to talk about Starbucks.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about what Starbucks can teach us about lean management and how we can apply this to manufacturing in Star Citizen. So, about a week ago, I think, about a week or two ago, a member of the Pur'N'Kleen org, Kofster, asked me about our assignments channel. And what this is me anticipating that we're going to be using a lean pull system. So I thought I would explain it further by talking about how Starbucks uses lean and lean pull in their organization. So when was the last time you went to Starbucks, Lisa? Do you remember kind of how it works?
I don't think I've been in a while.
Well, there's not a lot to being a barista, right? The way it works is they take an order, they take the payment, they make the coffee, and then you get the coffee, right?
Yeah.
Now, you could have one person doing all of it, but they usually have multiple employees.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, the problem is that one person cannot do it all. You have a line of people, and if you want to scale and serve more customers, then you need to do something else, right? Let's think about some of the ways that you can scale that work, sort of. So one option is to hire and train super baristas. So these will be baristas that are really fast at doing their job and are really skillful at making coffee and just really good at everything.
Okay.
And you have to pay for their training. It takes a while. You have to find those people, and it's a really expensive problem. And really, what it comes down to is that they can only go so fast.
Yeah.
So eventually, you still have to hire more super baristas, even though your individual super barista is really fast. So if you think about it, in Star Citizen, you'll have the same issue. Say you have a repair organization and you have one guy that's really good at repair. Well, you might think, well, we're gonna get this guy to be the best repairer guy ever. Well, you can only repair so many ships at one time. You run into the same problem that a lot of these smaller coffee shops run, where they just have one guy and then everybody's just like out a huge line out the corner because he can not serve coffee faster. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So what Starbucks, the other option that they tried is they organize the work in a way that allows you to add more normal baristas into the process. So more normal, regular college students that they can hire.
Okay.
And this is what is called concurrency. This is concurrency. You have people working on one task or on separate tasks at the same time, and the coffee's just sort of flowing. But the thing is, it has to be set up from the start. So even when you open up a new Starbucks and you don't have any customers, they're already set up so that if they do start to get the traffic, if they do start to get the people, then they can just add more of these normal people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what we're trying to do in Pur'N'Kleen with our assignments channel. We're essentially, right now, there's not much to do in Star Citizen, but we're trying to set up a system so that once it picks up, we can just add more people to it, and it'll just sort of work from the start. It's assigned from the start so that we can just keep growing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's drill down into how Starbucks does it, because I think it can give you a lot of insights into how you could do it to your own Star Citizen organization, even if it's not manufacturing, even if it's not repair. You can even apply these concepts to combat. So it all starts with the messaging. If you think when you go to Starbucks, you get these cups and they have messages on the side. And the barista will draw a little thing on the side. So the cups have these little boxes, and if you think about a regular restaurant, the waitress takes your order and then she sort of gives it to the cook, and then the cook has to make it because she assigned the work to the cook. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the Starbucks, they just leave the cups on top of the counter, and then the next available barista will just grab the next one. You know, they form like a little line.
Right.
Yeah. So this is essentially a lean pull system. The next barista pulls the cup and starts working on it. It was never assigned to her. There was never a boss telling her work on this.
Right.
There was never a customer ordering directly to her. It was just on the queue, and then she grabbed the next one.
Okay.
So this makes the system more efficient, more free-flowing, and that's kind of what I was thinking when I created that assignments channel on our Discord, where we could just have these assignments listed in order in the chat, and then somebody that's available could just take in the next available assignment.
Okay.
And then, like I said, if you have a sudden spike of customers, you can just add more baristas in the case of Starbucks.
Right.
And if you have less demand, then you can just reduce your baristas. So it kind of works out for them, and I think it's a really cool way of starting with the messaging on the cup, how they can achieve that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Now, there's also this divide and conquer approach, because even if you have the messaging, certain drinks are more involved or take more time. And it'll be the same thing in Star Citizen. So in Starbucks, you need to use the coffee machine, right? The espresso machine. And say, you run into the problem of resource contention when workers try to use the same machine at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the machine can only do so much, you know? So one way to avoid it is by separating the messages into more fine-grained types so that they can be handled differently. So right now in our Discord we have our assignments channel, but eventually we might have a more fine-grained assignments, you know? So like it could be like weapons assignments, or it could be fuel assignments,
right,
or it could be repair assignments. And the reason you want to do that is because, like coffee, not all orders are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, in Starbucks, hot drinks are served in paper cups and cold drinks in plastic cups. Mm-hmm. So visually, the barista can tell this order is different. This order is cold. Mm-hmm. You know, so when they receive 3 orders for hot coffee, and followed by 1 order for a frappuccino, which is, we now have 3 paper cups followed by 1 plastic cup, right? Mm-hmm. So the first barista comes in and she grabs the paper cup and she starts working on the espresso machine, but now the espresso machine is being used. Mm-hmm. So if the next person comes in and grabs the next paper cup, then they're just going to be waiting by the machine. Mm-hmm. So what she does is she grabs the plastic cup, mm-hmm, and she starts working on the cold drink. Mm-hmm. And that way you have concurrency. You have 2 people working on different drinks, just overall speeding up the process for the coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's called working in parallel, and this kind of work division in which baristas divide tasks and work in parallel is called partitioning, And the end result is that it creates value for the customer, because the customer gets their coffee faster. Mm-hmm. And it's important to note that it doesn't matter the value that customers are willing to pay for the value that customers get from your service is on them. They're the ones that are judging the value. So it doesn't matter if you have the finest beans from God knows where, you know, mm-hmm, and the finest barista that you spend so much money to hire.
Yeah.
If they're taking like 30 minutes to get their coffee, mm-hmm, there's like a balance there. And Starbucks really struck a chord with customers because now Starbucks is freaking everywhere.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I thought Starbucks like revolutionized the coffee shop business because they were like the first ones to really offer drinks that weren't coffee at the coffee shop. So not only were they catering towards like all the coffee lovers that would normally go to any coffee shop to get their coffee, they also are attracting their friends who drink coffee like me.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's because all of a sudden, when you are using lean management tools to, make your process more efficient, then all of a sudden you have resources available to do those things.
Okay.
So all of a sudden you can pay attention to what your customers want, and you're no longer just trying to do the coffee.
Yeah.
So another thing is, one thing that Starbucks noticed is that not all work is equally important. Starbucks trained their employees to recognize the regulars and starts preparing their drinks ahead of time, like even ahead of them paying.
Yeah.
So like if they notice the tall blonde woman that always orders a tall macchiato, then they're gonna start working on her tall macchiato before she pays.
Yeah.
And giving your repeat customers a higher priority is vital to staying in business, because often repeat customers will get what they will get their drinks ahead of regular customers, and so they feel important, they feel valued, and they want to come back.
Right.
So it's like a fulfilling cycle.
Right.
And they just keep coming back, and then you have like never-ending business.
Yeah. They also have a rewards card, so.
Yeah. Yeah, those types of programs are important, because as long as they provide value, as long as it's not like everybody else is doing a rewards program, let's do a freaking rewards program that gives nothing to you just so that we can data mine you, That's kind of pointless. Like I got that feeling with our supermarket, where it's like they have a rewards program, but it's essentially worthless. But yeah.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to touch on, unless you have something you want to talk about, is that not all mistakes are worth preventing. So when you think about it, you order your coffee and then you wait for your coffee to be made. But then your coffee's ready, and they just yell your name, and you go and pick it up. They don't check your receipt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they found that very few customers will leave without paying. Most, I don't know what the percentage is, but I can imagine that like 90% or more wouldn't leave without paying. Like they wouldn't steal someone's coffee. So it's more profitable to keep the barista working on the next drink than to prevent these minor losses. You lose a coffee, that's what, like $5 tops.
Right.
So it's better to have the barista be making more coffee than to be double checking receipts.
Yeah.
And what it means to Star Citizen, or really to anyone that's trying to do lean, is that you need to embrace the idea that failures are going to happen. They're inevitable, and it's too expensive to prevent them completely. It's better to start working on the next big thing than to prevent any minor loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about Starbucks and lean. I don't know if you have any questions or want to talk about something else.
I think it would be inappropriate, so maybe not.
All right. Well, thanks, Lisa, for stopping by. I hope everybody learned something from this. Thank you for listening to the Pur'N'Kleen podcast, a free weekly Star Citizen podcast aimed at tackling the business side of the verse. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
Productivity in an organization is a really tough subject, right? Because you want people to be able to feel like it's a fun place, but at the same time you still need to get things done, right? So it's